Hello everyone and welcome to this latest video. Top 5 Premier League predictions guaranteed. And I've got Marc Davies helping me on this latest video. How you doing, Matt?
Yeah, I'm well, Kirk. Yourself?
Yep, very, very good. Good to see pre-season's in full flow. We're going to take a neutral view in this video and have a bit of fun, aren't we?
Yeah, we're hoping to, mate. Yeah, should be interesting.
So if you're new to Cherries Red Army, please subscribe as we head towards the Premier League. Also hit the like button on this video. Get your thoughts down below in the comments at the end of this video. And this video is sponsored by Aquashine, our sponsors for July. They are professional jet washing and cleaning services across Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole for all your deckings, roofing, guttering and much, much more. Please do check them out. Details are below in the description. Also have a number there for you to get a free quotation and check out their before and after portfolio. So this video, how is it going to work? We're going to go through 5 scenarios, give our predictions, myself and Matt. We don't even know what we've chosen ourselves, Matt, do we? We've kept them to ourselves.
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to do it off the cuff, really, straight from the head.
And we want you to get involved, as I said, at the end of this video, top 5 predictions. Going into the first prediction then, Matt, we're going for the 2022-23 champions of the Premier League. Who are you picking?
Well, I can't see beyond. I mean, there's obviously going to be a few contenders. I think just to summarise, I think Tottenham will be stronger this year. Much stronger under Conte. I think they've done some good business in the market. He'll get them tighter at the back, and I think they pose a real threat going forward as ever with the likes of Harry Kane and Son. And they've obviously strengthened in that area. Brought Richarlison in as well, which I think is a good addition. So they'll be up. They'll be right up there. I think Chelsea again will come again. They'll be fairly strong, but and obviously Liverpool as well. Who knows with Manchester United? I think they'll improve, definitely. Whether they'll have enough to challenge for the title this season is another thing. So there's going to be a few contenders, but ultimately, you know, Liverpool will be in the mix. Of course they will. I just can't see beyond Manchester City again. I think with the signing of Haaland, they've strengthened again, haven't they? And they looked really, I mean, they were far and away the best. I know Liverpool ran them very close, but they were the best team in the Premier League by quite a distance for me, technically. Certainly last year, I can't see beyond them, Kirk. At the moment, I think for me it'd have to be Man City as champions.
Matt's prediction is Manchester City. I expected this, Matt, so you know I like to ruffle a few feathers, and I'm going to go a little bit left field. I agree with you. There's some teams that are really, really doing some decent business. You could even throw Arsenal in there. They look like they've got a decent plan, a different plan to what they've had before, but they are not going to win the Premier League. You can go for Manchester City or Liverpool. They're your obvious choices, but I'm going for someone different. I'm going for Tuchel's Chelsea. They look like they're going to have a bit of a go at it under new ownership as well. They brought in some goals. They brought in some stability at the back in Koulibaly. And I think they're going to look strong with some youthful players as well in the likes of, is it Conor Gallagher, who played at Crystal Palace last season? So a little bit left field. I'm going for Chelsea. And Matt's going for Manchester City. That's your prediction, the first prediction. Into our second prediction, Matt. And this is Golden Boot, top goal scorer. I'll go first. Going to be lots of good goal scorers in the Premier League this season, including our very own Dom Solanke for AFC Bournemouth. He won't get Golden Boot, though, I don't think. I'd like him to get at least 10 goals. But you've got the likes of Mohamed Salah on a new bumper deal that he's got with Liverpool. You've got Haaland coming into the Premier League, as you spoke about. You've got Son, who jointly won Golden Boot last season with Salah. And Jesus is now at Arsenal and probably going to play week in, week out. But I'm going for England's Harry Kane. He won it the year before. He's running down a contract, probably looking at a final chance to maybe move on after Tottenham next season. And I think he's going to hit the ground running. He's going to have some assists come his way as well from the likes of Richarlison, Matt. And I think Harry Kane's going to want to get his Golden Boot back. So I am going for Tottenham's Harry Kane for the Golden Boot this season. Who are you going for?
Absolutely spot on, Kirk. Yep, I'm going with exactly the same. In fact, everything that you've just said there, I was going to say myself. I think I've already touched on the fact that I think Spurs will vastly improve this season under Conte. I rate Conte massively as a manager and as a coach. How he develops teams, how he manages. He's very ruthless in his approach. He's got his own style, but it's been very effective, very successful previously in the Premier League before, hasn't it? So no reason why he can't do that. It looks like Daniel Levy is trusting him on the investment side as well. He's allowing him to spend a bit of his money, which he's not always done with managers previously. So he seems to be building something there. And I think with the players that Harry Kane is got around him, as you quite rightly touched upon with Richarlison and Son, as well as the creativity behind him in midfield, I think, for me, I think Harry Kane, we all know he's a natural goal scorer, probably the most natural goal scorer that we've had as an England national team, arguably. But yeah, he knows where the net is, and I think if he gets the service, he'll put the ball in the back of the net 9 times out of 10. So I'm going to also go with Harry Kane, Kirk.
We're in agreement there, Matt. So Harry Kane for both myself and Matt. Going on to your guaranteed third prediction for the Premier League 22-23 season. That's Golden Glove, Matt. Who are you going for to win Golden Glove this season?
Golden Glove is a difficult one. It's probably the most difficult choice that I had to make, really. I'm just going to base it on the fact that I think Liverpool, although they may not win the title, I think defensively they look pretty sound, particularly if they can keep Van Dijk fit. I think they always look fairly solid when they need to defensively. And although he's got an error and a ricket in him or two, Alisson, I do rate him highly as a goalkeeper. He's got a lot of know-how there, great shot stopper, as you'd expect any goalkeeper to be. But he's, on his day, very commanding, very solid as a goalkeeper, growing all the time in experience. So I'm going to go with Alisson for Golden Glove. I think he's in a good team, solid team, well established, that defensive unit there now. And he is well established as a goalkeeper. So I'll go for Alisson and mix it up a little bit and go for Alisson as Golden Glove winner.
No Mark Travers?
No Mark Travers. I mean, if Mark Travers was Liverpool goalie or Man City, I might go with Mark Travers because I do rate him very highly. But I can't see our back four, back three, or whatever, back five, whatever it's going to, back seven, whatever it's going to be next year. I can't see them keeping too many clean sheets, Kirk, if I'm honest.
Alisson for you then, Matt. Now, the last 4 years for the Golden Glove have been shared between Ederson and Alisson. They also jointly shared it one season, and I am going to go with the theme on this one. I think it is either Man City's Ederson or Liverpool's Alisson, but Ederson has won more than Alisson. I think Man City will be very strong this season. I know I predicted Chelsea to win the league, but I predict Ederson in goal for Man City to win the Golden Glove. So split here between me and Matt, and we want to get your thoughts on these early predictions in the comments at the end of the video. Give this a like. Your fourth prediction then, Matt, interestingly, and I'll go first, it's my turn, is first manager to be sacked in the Premier League. It's how you hit the ground running. I'm looking at certain teams that are, well, one team especially is in their second season syndrome at the Championship, so that'll be interesting to see how they do. Then you've got the likes of Forest and Fulham spending a lot of money, getting a lot of players in, and that doesn't always work, but it gives you a chance sometimes. But the first manager to be sacked for me, Matt, is Jesse Marsch for Leeds. I think this is going to be a tough season for Leeds. American manager, he got 4 wins out of 12, kept them up on the last day of the season. But I don't see this going very well for Leeds. I think this could be a really tough season for them, and they could make a snap decision if they're in the bottom 3 and maybe make a change from a board level. So my prediction for first manager to be sacked is Jesse Marsch. Over to you, Matt.
Yeah, I totally understand your thinking behind that, Kurt, and it was he was one of the managers in the frame for me. Definitely, the jury's very firmly out on him as a manager in the Premier League. Lack of experience. Is he a good fit for Leeds United? He kept them up last season just about by the skin of their teeth. They have invested a little bit in the summer. They will be expecting to do a lot better this time around. So there will be pressure on Jesse Marsch. I'm not going to go with him though. I'm going to go with a manager that I don't rate very highly, particularly at Premier League level. And you might know who I'm going to say here. He was at Everton, wasn't very popular, didn't do a good job, didn't do great at Watford, took Hull City down. did okay last season in the Championship. And I say did okay, they won the league, but you would have expected not much less with the squad and all the riches that he had at his disposal in terms of the playing staff on the pitch there. I just think when it comes to Premier League level, Fulham, it's always going to be, I think it's going to be a struggle for them at Premier League level. Big challenge for Marco Silva next season. And I think there will be pressure this time on them to stay up because they are building a bit of a reputation, more so than maybe anybody else, of becoming a bit of a yo-yo team. So they'll want to stay firmly in the mix, I think, next season. So the pressure's on Marco Silva. And he's never delivered at this level as a manager, really. When the pressure's been on him, he's been involved in those relegation scraps, and he's failed miserably. Not so much at Everton, but he wasn't popular. Didn't do a particularly great job. So I'm going to go with Marco Silva as the first manager to lose his job.
That was also on my list. It was between him and Jesse Marsch. Marco Silva, Matt, is doing exactly what I expected him to do. He's buying lots of players, filling that squad up. And this could also go very horribly wrong for Fulham, as well as it could go very horribly wrong in our comments if Fulham or Leeds fans are currently watching this video. Marco Silva for Matt then, first manager sack. Jesse Marsch for myself. Final prediction then in the Premier League 22-23 season, Matt, is first team to be relegated. And could this run the same theme as the manager for the team you expect to be sacked?
Yeah, well, there's a few contenders. Obviously, the three that have come up, from a neutral point of view, there'll be a lot of supporters picking between the three of us, wouldn't there, as the first team to be relegated? But we're obviously Bournemouth supporters. This is a Bournemouth channel, so I'm not going to sit here and say that Bournemouth are going to be the first team to be relegated. Let's very much hope that's not the case. So, from that aspect, I can't look any further than Fulham. I think Nottingham Forest have invested quite wisely, so I've been quite impressed with some of the business they've done so far, Nottingham Forest. And I see this morning they're linked with Jesse Lingard. They're in talks to sign Lingard, which would be a massive signing for their massive coup. So they are going for it in terms of the investment, and I rate their manager. I do like Steve Cooper a lot. I think he's done a fantastic job at Swansea. Coming at Nottingham Forest, they were bottom of the league, and what he did was phenomenal. Also, he's worked with England at a younger level and did a brilliant job there. I love his style of management, his style of football. So, I'm going to go with Fulham to be the first side relegated. Like you say, Kirk, I think Marco Silva is spending the money. He's lost a few players, but there's a couple of sort of, I don't want to say panic buys, but there's a couple of questionable buys that are in the squad at Fulham, and I just don't rate him as a manager. So on that basis, I'll go with Fulham as the first side to be relegated.
Fulham to have their manager sacked first and the team to be relegated first. And I'm going to come over to my theme, which is that Leeds are going to struggle. They've lost Calvin Phillips. They've lost Rafinha. I've predicted that Jesse Marsch will lose his job first. And I predict that Leeds will also be relegated first, Matt. And we've got similar thought processes here. And I can also see the Fulham side as well. Got some really good podcast friends in the YouTube world. But we are going to be looking at these types of teams when we do these types of videos. And we're not going to predict Bournemouth because it's a Bournemouth fan channel. So I am going for Leeds to have a really, really struggling season. And I expect them to be relegated first. There we have it. Those are your 5 guaranteed Premier League predictions for 22-23 season. I say guaranteed, Matt, but we don't really know. And Bournemouth are going to have a go at it this season. It's very different to how we prepared for other Premier League seasons. We seem to have a clear plan under the current board and the current manager. We're looking to see a few more signings come through. But your early predictions on how you're feeling about Bournemouth leading up to that opening game?
Early predictions. I mean, at the moment, I am concerned. I mean, we've only signed 2 players, and I know it's not all about bringing more and more signings into the football club, as I've gone on record saying before. You need stability there. You've got to build a squad and work with it, develop a style of football, develop a philosophy, and add bits as you move along. I think that's very much the way to sustainably and successfully run a football club like ours, and for it to thrive and survive at the highest level possible. So I don't think we should just be throwing money at it, buying panic buying players for the sake of it, just to try and strengthen the squad. And I think probably the view of the board particularly is that they feel that they've already done that in the summer window last year, and obviously in the winter window, in the January window, where we obviously did a lot of business, brought a lot of players in, obviously, albeit some of them were on loan, so they need to be replaced. I just feel that there is some gaps there in terms of the quality that we require in the Premier League to be able to compete at the moment. And I feel that obviously with the loan players that have gone back, I feel that we're going to have to do some business to ensure that we're at least competitive, because at the moment I am concerned. I mean, Joe Rothwell and Ryan Fredericks, good bits of business on paper. They look, we haven't paid a transfer fee for either of those players, so I'm quite happy with that. But we need to step that on now. I still feel that we need probably 4 or 5 players, i.e. backup goalkeepers, probably 2 centre-backs, a backup left-back, another striker maybe, and a stroke winger to add some more quality in that department. So there's still things to be done. Otherwise, I do fear for us. I feel we could be in for a long season, based on the fact that there's so many players within the squad at the moment that aren't tried and trusted at this level. So the jury's going to be out on the likes of Ryan Christie, Jadon Anthony, Jamal Lowe, Siriki Dembele, even up to a point, obviously Kiefer Moore. At this level, all attacking players, can they cut it in the Premier League? Because invariably we're going to concede goals. When you look at our back line, we always did before. And I know Scott Parker will set up differently. His style of play very much different to Eddie Howe. More pragmatic in his approach, which may mean that we maybe don't ship as many goals. But when you look at the quality that we'll be up against in the Premier League, I don't see anything other than us conceding goals. So we're going to need to be firing on all cylinders at the other end. And, we need to shore it up at the back. I'm happy with Travers in goal, but we definitely need defensive reinforcements. And I feel that we need the other bits around the squad as well. Otherwise, I do fear for us, I must be honest, at this moment in time.
Totally agree, and there'll be more Bournemouth content coming to this YouTube channel very, very soon. But let's just check out those choices, those top 5 Premier League predictions from myself and Matt on the screen now. And we want to get your predictions in the comments. Pop into there and just give us your Premier League champions, your golden boot, your golden glove, first manager to be sacked, and your first team to be relegated. We will read every single one. Me and Matt will check them out once this video goes live. Thank you to our monthly members for supporting the channel. If you want to support the channel, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Cherries Red Army, become a monthly member, or simply a one-off donation is much appreciated. And we are happy to accept, Matt, any comments from any non-Bournemouth fans who have any thoughts on this video.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what it's all about, isn't it? We love coming on and talking football and giving our views, but by the same token, we love to have debate. We don't just think it's about our views and, we're right and everybody else is wrong. We welcome any views from not just Bournemouth supporters in the comments and in the chat, but from other fans as well. Tell us what you think and why you think we're wrong, and let's have some reasoned debate about it, and let's have some banter, and let's look forward to what will be a very interesting season, I'm sure.
Matt, really enjoyed it. See you soon.
Yep, look forward to it, Kirk. Pleasure as ever. Great to see you.
Thank you to everyone who checked out this video. Hit that like button, and we'll see you soon on the next one. From me and Matt, up the cherries.
Up the cherries.